again, we didn't finish it. Chalk it up to four straight quarters of bad ball, and but I do think defense came back in the second half, played really well, because Cleveland was still trying to score and put up points, and felt like we did a really nice job forwarding it and giving our offense some opportunities. Took the ball away 3 times, scored on defense. But like I said, it's the expectation for us here is to lock opponents down and not let them score, and so it's when that doesn't happen, you're always trying to find the right answers.
It kind of went viral a bit, Coach, your reaction to Rich Cimini's question after the Browns' loss about your reactions on the field, and you want me to turn over the podium, that whole thing. But I thought it was a legitimate question just from the standpoint of you don't look as animated as you did when you were in San Francisco. Is that fair? And if so, why?
I've gotten up and spoken about this, I feel like, a million times since I've gotten here. But, what people see from what people took from animation in San Francisco was celebration. I always celebrate with our team, always. And but in adverse situations, I'm talking to coaches to try to figure out how we can get the player in the right headspace so he doesn't make a mistake again. I've never undressed a player in the public's eye. I always held it back for team meetings and closed doors. But so if animation means yelling at players and putting on a show, I apologize for the lack of showmanship. It's just not going to happen. It's never been that. It's never been my style. Even in San Francisco, where all the passion and fire, that narrative was created, it was more in celebration. Playing great defense, getting takeaways, getting stops, and celebrating with the guys and on all the work that they put in to see them have that success. I'm always going to be the first one to jump up and down for them. Aside from their family, I guess.
Coach, you guys released Dalvin Cook today. Why before the last game of the year?
There's obviously a business part to it, but Dalvin's been an unbelievable teammate, and we really, really appreciate his time. I know it hasn't gone nearly as well as anyone had hoped for, especially him, and but just an opportunity for him to get out there and try to finish off the season strong. He's got a lot of juices left in his legs, and like I said, it just didn't work. But again, an opportunity. He's done us well, and he's been an unbelievable teammate, like I said. And even through all this adversity, he's been a great mentor to his teammates. He's been a great sounding board for coaches. He's been awesome, and just appreciate everything he's done here.
Woody has given you a vote of confidence. What does that do for you?
I'm always focused on the next opponent. Right now, it's the Patriots trying to finish this thing strong, and always appreciated. I speak to Woody daily, and he's always been very supportive. Obviously challenges us daily, but at the same time, it's never wavered with regards to support.
Did you ever think that your job was in jeopardy?
we have a chance to finish strong, win 3 of our last 5, which would be awesome. But there was a little bump in there where we just couldn't get over the hump after the Giants game, and there's no excuse for it. We got to be better. We got to be better as coaches. We got to be better as players. We've got to figure out where exactly we went wrong in that middle portion of the season, and ensure for everybody.
Sorry about the redundancy of this question, because we've asked you a lot over the weeks, but it's really, I think, come to a head over the last 2 weeks. 26
last week was a lot of the pre-snap penalties, the offsides, the illegal formations, the delay of games. That's not good. I'll always look inward. Obviously, on pre-snap penalties, you're always going to look inward as a coach. Same with post-snap. And so just challenging ourselves from an offensive staff, even defense, and making sure that we're putting our players in a position to be able to be successful. I know over the last 5 weeks we've gotten a little bit more production on offense. It's not saying a lot, but we have been producing, with the exception of the Miami game, and generating points and generating opportunities. And with that comes a little bit more complexity with regards to offensive design, and we're trying to create more space. So, like I said, it's things that we've got to be better at. We've got to find a way to simplify for our players, but remaining complex, so we can keep the ball moving the way, in the manner of which we all desire. But it's definitely something that we've all got to look at and make sure that we're much more efficient in these situations moving forward.
Everything is baby steps. Is it important to win this game against the Patriots just to get that monkey off your back while they haven't won 15 straight games? And, you go into next year with a clean slate. How important is this game for you?
I feel like every game's important. I mean, I know it's kind of cliche, but we put in so much work. Players put in so much work. They're sacrificing their bodies. Coaches are spending hours upon hours in these meeting rooms trying to come up with a game plan, and they'll stay here till 2, 3 in the morning, and players will grind and through practice, and they're going to go through a 70-play game on each side of the ball. You don't do all that with the expectation to not win. You do it to win a football game. You do it to put your best foot forward, and so it always feels good to win, regardless of the time of year, regardless of what's at stake. Whether it's preseason, postseason, in season, it doesn't matter. You want to win every game that you play.
All right, so I got to finish with this. You have 7 kids, Christmas. Do you make sure that each kid gets the exact same amount of gifts? Does that fall under your wife's official duties or your duties? I mean, does each kid get 5 gifts? So it's 35. I mean, how does that work?
So, it's whatever Santa comes up with.
Right,
just in case they're listening.
Absolutely. But, you're in conference, in constant contact with them, yeah.
But no, put on the list. They've been good. Santa usually comes up big. So
that's the answer, Michael. What does Robert have to? This is Santa's problem.
But I understand. Like, my kids wanted iPhones. I said, no, Santa doesn't do electronics. Right. It's not happening.
So why are you asking Robert or Robert's wife about number of presents? This is a Santa issue.
Coach, did Santa give each kid the same amount of gifts?
No, if it's on the Christmas, I think if it was on the Christmas list, Santa came through this year. So
all right.
It depends if they want one big thing or they want 5 little things, whatever they come up. I leave my wife to that one, and she figures out the best way to deliver that message.
I'll tell you what, I have 2 kids, Coach, and like Christmas morning is like a zoo. I can't imagine 7 kids screaming and opening gifts. It must be amazing.
You know what? At 4:30 in the morning, the wife is not happy because she's being woken up because they keep opening and closing the door.
I know.
But it's a blessing. The good Lord's blessed us all, and we have the ability to give our kids as much as possible and put them in a situation where they can be happy every morning. And it's, not everyone can say that, and so we're always blessed.
All right, well, we will talk to you next week with a postmortem. I know this has not been any easy year for you and dealing with us as well, but we thank you and a happy New Year to you and good luck on the weekend.
Happy New Year, guys. Appreciate you all.
All
You
right.
too.
That was the Robert Saleh Report brought to you by Sloman. Sloman says low-price home heating oil for all New York football fans. Low prices, zero sacrifices for 100 years. Sloman's has been a staple in home comfort. Call 1-866-OIL-DEAL and Infinity.com. Discover more about the luxury and performance of an Infinity QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com or visit your local Infinity dealer today. I will tell you this. We've got some time before the break. So Woody said Douglas is coming back, Saleh's coming back, everybody's coming back. And I really believe that that's the case because Aaron Rodgers is there. Aaron Rodgers is comfortable. He wants them back. He signed with them in mind, and Woody wants to give them a chance with a healthy Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to reiterate what I said a couple of months back. If they don't at least get to an AFC Championship game with this guy, this is the most wasted 3 years that they will ever have as a franchise. This guy could bring them down to their knees. If they get a top 10 pick and they don't take a quarterback now that they like Michael Penix might be available when they pick, and they don't take him because they want to win for Aaron Rodgers, it will be the worst thing that ever happened to the Jet franchise.
Now, you're right about everything that you said, Michael. I'd love to hear what the listeners have to say, although I'm sure a lot of the people that listen to the show or watch this show already want him gone. I don't care what Woody said. You cannot bring Robert Saleh back if they lose Sunday. You can't lose to the Patriots again.
Even after Woody said they're bringing him back?
No, well, it's happened before. I'm sorry. You can't. The Patriots stink. You've lost to them forever. He keeps talking about how it's getting better and better. You're going to close out the season with 26 penalties in the last 2 games, getting embarrassed by the Cleveland Browns on national television, lose again to the Patriots? I'm sorry. They probably will bring him back, but for me, that would be the last straw. If I own the Jets, Peter, that would be the last straw.
By the way, I mean, they were just some weak, soft play calling from Eric Bieniemy at the end of that game from having lost a dreadful loss to the Commanders, where they blew that entire second half, then lost to Cleveland badly. Then think about that, how that would have looked.
But the owner has already made his bet. He said they're coming back. He can't change his mind now.
Well, he could if it's happened before. It's usually the kiss of death when the owner gives a vote of confidence. But let me ask you this. You don't have to answer now. It could be a tease. What's Aaron's motivation to bring Robert back? He's a defensive head coach. What does one have to do with the other? How does he benefit from Robert Saleh being his head coach?
When we come back, I'll tell you why.
Oh, that's good.
I'll tell you why.
I bet your answer isn't a good answer for the future of this team. It might be the right answer, but it's not a good answer.
I think the whole Rodgers thing has destroyed the immediate future of this team. Destroyed it. You brought in a guy, and we were all on board about it. But remember when the Jets had no interest in Lamar? How would that have looked? You could. He was there. Every team passed on him. We don't want this guy. We don't want this guy. Would you be in better shape with Lamar Jackson?
The guy who's like a 20,000 to 1 favorite to win the MVP? Probably, yeah. Probably.
Well, this New Year, it's time to finally lose that weight the safe and natural way with it.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
I have to find a babysitter.
I have a lot of questions.
When can they start?
Today? Now? Tomorrow?
How about Saturday and Sunday?
I need any kind of day.
My wife and I haven't been out in a year.
We need a date night. No offense.
Help!
Can I check reviews?
Are they background checked?
Do I have to go pick them up?
Can they handle all this?
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
You don't have to leave your living room to play the lottery. Just use the Jackpocket app.
Hot! Okay, everyone, please silence your phones.
I won.
I won! I won! I never win anything, and I won today! We won! Yes! Dollar bills, y'all, I'm out!
To win anytime, anywhere, download the Jackpocket app, officially licensed lottery courier service.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to thebblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
Boost your streaming experience with live stats on the Yes app. Real-time features like player stats, game leaders, and play-by-play are available now on phones, tablets, and now on connected TVs. Live stats while you stream, now on the Yes app.
This road. And Judy's road. Thanks. You're welcome, Judy. Nominate your town for plowing assistance at plowingforpizza.com so you can carry out 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each from Domino's, no matter the weather.
Tip off this basketball season with Prize Picks, the easiest way to play daily fantasy. Just pick more or less on player stats like points, assists, rebounds, and more. You can win up to 25 times your cash. Go for the win across the country and flex on them with Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Visit prizepicks.com/TV for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. The Final Four in college football is down to the final 2. In the Rose Bowl yesterday afternoon, the game had to be decided in overtime, and it was the Michigan Wolverines who came up with the big stop at the end to vanquish the Alabama Crimson Tide. Quarterback J.J. McCarthy has his team set up to call themselves champions for the first time since 1997. When Brian Griese led them to a co-national title with Nebraska. But they have one more hill to climb before they can call themselves champs, and that is Mount Washington, which is led by quarterback Michael Penix Jr., who is second in the Heisman voting to LSU's Jaden Daniels. Penix Jr. threw for 430 yards and a pair of touchdowns yesterday, outdueling Texas sophomore Quinn Ewers for the right to play for the national championship. And that takes place Monday night, January 8th, what would have been Elvis's 88th birthday.
All right, so Don asked me a question going to break. How would it further the cause for Rodgers that they keep Saleh? Well, Don, if they don't keep Saleh, then they're going to hire another coach. Mm-hmm. And why would that coach want to keep Hackett? And I think that's a must for Rodgers to stay. And the only other chance that you would have is you'd make Hackett the head coach. So he'd have less of a hands-on approach with Rodgers than he is an offensive coordinator.
The thing is that you could have so you're telling me that you can't find another head coach that would have Nathaniel Hackett as the offensive coordinator? But why have this? I mean, so the only benefit is I get to keep my offensive coordinator. Does he think he's a good coach?
But you have to have your offensive coordinator.
I understand that. But also, is he a good enough head coach to help your team win a championship?
I don't know.
There's other aspects to the team besides offense. I know it's an offensive league.
But
I know it's a quarterback league.
Isn't it hard to judge that, though? I mean, with the quarterbacks
I was thinking about this during a time off, because that's always the answer, right? It's incomplete. It's 3 years and 33 losses, Michael. If the answer's incomplete, doesn't that kind of give you the answer? I know there's excuses. And nobody deserves to get fired, Michael. And would it be the right thing to let him go? But you don't think you can do better? See, if you keep him, you're saying what you're de facto saying is, I don't think we can do any better. You don't think you can do better than Robert Saleh? No offense, he's a great guy. We like him. And there's excuses why this team hasn't won. He had zero talent his first year. His second year, the quarterback situation was a debacle. His third year, he loses the future Hall of Famer on the fourth play of the season. But you also can't tell me he's been a great coach. 26 penalties in the last 2 weeks. So if the answer is incomplete, he certainly hasn't done anything to show you that he is going to turn this franchise around. Like, what would be the harm in trying to find somebody better? Like, are you afraid he's going to become the next Bill Belichick?
Rodgers is running this organization.
All right, but you can't find somebody that can work with Nathaniel Hackett? Like, this is the only guy that can coach this team. Like, so Aaron Rodgers doesn't care who the head coach is?
But if you get a head coach and he doesn't want to bring in his own offensive coordinator, you're bringing in a neuter anyway. Rodgers is running the team, so you might as well let Saleh do it.
But it's for the next couple of years, right? So you're kind of punting on one of the most important positions on a football team is the head coach. And even though I don't think he, quote-unquote, deserves to be fired because he's had a lot of things go against him the last 3 years, to say that he deserves to continue to coach this team seems a little strange as well.
I don't know. By using the word deserves, right, I can see what you're saying. But I just think it's a matter of circumstance. Rodgers is running the team. Now, I think more at fault, and we have not said this over the whole time. I mean, everybody keeps lauding Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas has had one great draft and awful otherwise. Awful. What has he done that's made him a good GM? Dalvin Cook was a terrible signing.
Same thing.
You release Carter. Why did you release Carter if you're going to release Cook? Why wouldn't you have kept Carter?
Don't know.
Every move they've made has been awful. He had one great draft. You're going to actually run that on one great draft? He's not had a great run as GM. I can't wait till we talk to me at the end of the season because starting with the fact that you bring Zach Wilson as your backup quarterback, professional malfeasance what Joe Douglas did.
What I thought you were going to say is, besides it, because that's a good answer, because he doesn't want to lose Nathaniel Hackett, although I think you can find a coach that could work with Nathaniel Hackett, because it's only a couple of years. I would hope whoever you bring in as the head coach feels like he'll be around beyond Aaron Rodgers, and then you can bring in whoever you want to bring in. The point is trying to improve at the head coaching position. You tell me you can't improve at the head coaching position? The answer that I thought you were going to tell me is Aaron wants somebody that's not going to challenge him, not get in his way. Let him do his thing.
Well, he's got the whole structure.
But I don't think that helps. Go back to Tom Brady in Tampa. Arians would get in Brady's face. He would challenge Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't run that team the way Aaron Rodgers is running the Jets. He had a say in personnel, bringing Gronkowski in and all that. But you saw Arians get into it with Tom Brady. He would challenge Tom Brady. Are you telling me Aaron Rodgers does not want to be challenged? Because that's what Robert Saleh's not challenging him. Is he afraid that if they bring another coach, that coach might actually tell Aaron to shut up or sit down or let me run the team?
I don't know.
That's not a good thing.
I don't know the specifics of it, Don, but the reason that Saleh and Douglas are coming back, minus specifics, is because of Aaron Aloysius Rodgers.
There's zero question. That's why I asked you. What is the motivation for Aaron to keep Robert Saleh?
To keep everything in line.
Right. To keep, I don't think he keeps everything in line. He doesn't care. He cares about Nathaniel Hackett.
But he cares about him. He cares about himself.
Right, but I don't think he necessarily cares about anything but what helps him win.
And by the way,
Nathaniel Hackett helps him win.
How's Rodgers look now that Jordan Love actually is playing well and the Packers have a chance to make the playoffs?
They do have a chance to make the playoffs. Right. You're right.
Doesn't look that great.
But if I tell you can keep Nathaniel Hackett, you don't think that he can improve the head coaching position?
You'd be bringing in a head coach, Don, where the quarterback is running the team, and the quarterback's running the team through the offensive coordinator. Who are you getting anyway? I mean, and we really don't know if Robert Saleh can coach.
I don't know.
Because last year they had the fewest amount of penalties, or in the bottom three.
Right.
This year they've been terrible. So I'm not going to say it's on him. Every circumstance, the offensive line has been ravaged, and the quarterback went down.
I'm just saying is that you can make excuses for everything and completely diffuse any criticism towards Robert Saleh. but you also can't say that he's a great coach, right?
But you can't say he's terrible.
Right, because incomplete is saying, I need more information. But I ask you, you don't think they can improve the head coaching position? Now, if you tell me there's nobody else would want that job, I don't know that to be the case. It's not like Rodgers is going to be here forever. He might be here 2 years.
Well, the previous coach they got was awful. So, I mean, they can make more mistakes.
But I just think the idea that...
I mean, what if Peyton Manning calls with another great suggestion?
Well, listen, but then you're kind of chasing your tail no matter what you do. So keeping Robert could be a mistake because it's the same guy deciding to keep him that would have to replace him.
You're not dealing with the Rooneys here. You're not dealing with even Jerry Jones here. I'm sorry, you're not.
I always hate that answer. Well, the owner doesn't know what he's doing because it's still a decision to bring Saleh back. So if he doesn't know what he's doing, then that could still be the worst thing.
I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's doing, but I don't think that he's a real football guy.
This is a very important season coming up for the New York Jets. And we all admit that
they're willing to sell their soul for Rodgers.
And if Rodgers had stayed healthy this year, I think we can all agree they were not winning a Super Bowl this year. Who knows if they'd even make the playoffs this year?
If he didn't get hurt offensive line in Game 1, he would have gotten hurt in Game 3.
Right. So now you're going to run it back with the same team. How do we know it's not going to go the same way?
All right, we'll come back. We got a lot of stuff to do. The Nick trade, obviously more on the Jets, your phone calls. We're glad to be back with you. Hope you had a great New Year and Christmas. And we'll be back in just a moment right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The most important tool on any job site in America is the one you wear on your feet for 40 hours a week.
Wait, what?
My name is Eric Gerard. I started Brunt Workwear in my garage for my buddies in the trades. The modern construction worker has different needs than they did 100 years ago. That's why at Brunt, our gear is designed by workers for workers with premium technologies like triple layer comfort, slip and oil resistant soles, and a triple layer waterproofing system. Go online for free shipping and try any of our gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're going to feel the difference. The best thing about the Only Pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We like color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
The next Mega Millions drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to thebblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
Nothing was observed last night as the entire game shut down. 14 people dead.
We're all trying to put together the pieces.
You would want to be able to be on the board.
It is clear they have a plan.
This is a move you have to make.
It's going to be a chess match. Yankees hot stove is back. A lot to talk about.
What are the Yankees going to do next?
Where do you pivot to? What is your plan B?
Plus, you never know what guests will join us.
Download the Yes app and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, pick and play, and Yes rewards. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free.
Precious Achua is going to be a good backup for them at the center position. And I think the initial reaction of Knicks fans was that the Knicks got fleeced. It shows you that people might watch stuff and they really don't know what they're seeing. They didn't get fleeced. I mean, I think Toronto got a nice return, but not as much as they wanted last year. And the Knicks are a better team. Now, Kendrick Perkins on ESPN about the Knicks said they're knocking at the door, but I'm not ready to let them in just yet. Brunson has the capability of being the best player in any series, but I just don't have that faith in Julius Randle yet. OG going to help Julius out so much. Zach Lowe said means a lot, the trade, exactly the skill set every playoff team needs. Good enough that if they get the right matchup in the second round and a little bit of luck, they could make the conference finals, which is what you said too, Don.
Yeah.
I believe that this team got better. Are they good enough to win a final? No. But they can get into the Eastern Conference Finals. It's unlikely, but it's good enough that they can, and I truly believe there's another move that's going to be made.
We did think prior to this move, there was a world in which they could have ended up in the conference finals.
But I think it's a better chance now.
It's a more legitimate, doesn't require a fluke in the same way. You think they could get out there and win? I mean, you're talking about essentially they're going to beat...
Everything would have to fall right.
They'd have
One big team would have to be eliminated.
You're not saying they would beat the Celtics or Bucks in a series?
They could. I don't think they would.
Okay.
But before the deal, and I felt it, and I said it, and I meant it, that if you had Barrett, Randall, and Brunson playing at the top level, they could beat anybody in this league. The problem is you don't get that every single night.
No.
And one of the guys that was stopping that from happening was RJ.
It was. Sadly, you're correct.
So is it possible now after this deal that they could be better equipped in the postseason to get to that conference final? Everybody wants the deal to be about taking the next step and winning the championship. Ultimately, that's the goal. And that's why I think there's another deal that's going to be made here. But they were also thinking about this year, solidifying what they are, getting better, and seeing if they can't get that home court in the first round, which means being a 4 seed, and winning a couple of series. And I think they're better equipped to do that now than they were before this trade. And now they've opened the door for them to try to get better with another deal that can help them in the future.
Now, Stephen A. Smith on First Take, not really blown away by the deal.
I'm not moved. The Knicks are better. They're certainly better defensively. And Anunoby doesn't require the ball the way R.J. Barrett does. He's a better three-point shooter and catch and shoot threes. Not only that, he's shooting like 44% from threes from the corner. So he doesn't need the ball as much, which frees the ball up for Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. I'm not sure about Julius Randle come playoff time. And you know, when he's that formidable option. I needed a third guy. You've improved defensively. I don't have any problem with Barrett being gone. I get it. I don't think he worked in that particular situation, even though I'm hopeful for his future in the NBA. Emmanuel Quickley, I did not want to lose. Right. I did not want to lose this kid. Yeah. Okay. He is special. Yeah. And he's the runner for 6th Man of the Year last season. The brother can ball. Yeah. And not having him there, to me, puts a lot more on Jalen Brunson. It gives Thibodeau an excuse to go with like 7 and just run you into the ground and have you fatigued come playoff time.
Listen, if you're just talking about this year, I understand what he's saying. They're not signing the guy. He turned down a contract. They were going to lose him at the end of the year anyway. So they'd rather have Anunoby get rid of the contract that you gave to Barrett and then essentially give that same contract to OG. So they're not signing Quickly.
So what I would ask Steven is, okay, so you keep Quickly. So you were willing to roll the dice that you'd be better off with Quickly this season and then lose him for nothing than make a deal to bring in somebody that can make you better this season and open a door for the future? Like, I get quickly. I'd like to keep him here too long term, but they couldn't do it financially. They were going to lose him. This was it.
And also, you weren't good enough to win a championship anyway, and you just admitted that with OG Anunoby, you're better. So you make the deal because you're going to lose him anyway. And R.J. Barrett, to me, he's plateaued. He's not a great number 3 option. He needs the ball in his hand. He's not going to get that with the Knicks. Alan Hahn, who did the game yesterday with Mike Breen on his show with Bart, he actually likes this deal.
I don't want people to get caught up in the idea that this was supposed to move the needle to elite status.
Contenders,
This is, to me, a move that is a methodical building block, another step to get you closer, and you're still waiting for the big one that brings it all together. That's the move you're still waiting for. That hasn't happened yet, and that's what we're still waiting on it, but it's out there. They got better because they got back to what they need to be, which is a tough defensive team. They added more toughness.
And here's a little secret, everybody. They might not make that deal to the offseason. That player might not shake loose. There might not be a guy who goes to a GM and goes, I want out of here. It might not happen. Hey, and it could be Kevin Durant, who's miserable out in Phoenix. That's a bad combination.
Oh, he's miserable in Phoenix. How funny is that?
He's miserable everywhere.
And he'd be miserable here, too.
He would have been. He should have stayed in Golden State. That's where he should have stayed. But that's another story for another day. And I'm not sure that's your guy because he's not the player that he once was. He's getting old now.
I mean, in Brooklyn, I don't think he had to be miserable in Brooklyn either. That wasn't his doing, the misery.
No, his buddy helped him out.
Right now, you could say in that sense it was his doing because he chose to link up with Kyrie. But I wouldn't say the misery is because of KD.
Kyrie's hurt again, by the way, missing a lot of games for Dallas.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. 1-800-919-3776. So, again, I was shocked. The word fleeced was trending.
But everybody wants to be a talk show host. Everybody wants to be able to throw that opinion. There are certain teams in all of sports where if you want to side on the negative, there's a very good chance you're going to be right. Because the Knicks usually do get fleeced. The Knicks usually make a deal that doesn't work out. So is it really that hot a take to say they got fleeced? Because then if it doesn't work out and they get bounced in the first round of the playoffs or OG gets hurt or Barrett balls out in Toronto, look, I'm right. I tell you what, I think Barrett's going to do well in Toronto. And I don't think one has anything to do with the other. He might end up being a perennial all-star in Toronto. Doesn't mean it was going to happen here. He wanted to play in Canada. He grew up a Raptors fan. There's way less pressure there. He doesn't have to be looked upon as the 3rd overall pick because it wasn't Toronto who drafted him. I expect him to play well there. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't a deal worth making.
No, because you have to take incremental steps, and I think there's a long-range plan for the Knicks. I don't think they're just going through this blindly. And I like the fact that Leon Rose and his front office are getting players that the coach wants. He needs defensive players. He's obsessive about defense in a league that doesn't play much defense. He wants defenders. OG Anunoby is an all-defensive player.
Right, and your great defensive player is likely done for the year. And Mitchell Robinson.
Right. Oh, you know who by the way, they miss Robertson's Mitchell Robinson's rim protecting? Hartenstein is really good. He adds a completely different offensive element, which Mitchell Robinson doesn't. So he's not the same defender, but boy, for a guy who signed a 2-year deal, he's going to really cash in at the end of the season because this guy really plays well. He's a good player.
He's getting paid nothing right now, too?
I think it's $10 million a year. He signed a $20 million 2-year deal.
No, that's okay. Not nothing.
And everybody said, well, we had a caller earlier, they haven't made any good moves. Have you watched DiVincenzo play?
Now, he questioned you saying that Rose is forward-thinking.
Yeah, he's pretty forward-thinking.
It's almost the opposite. It's almost like the one thing they haven't done is secured the guy everyone wants.
Right, they're taking slow steps forward.
Their little pieces they've gotten are great players who have either worked out here or been players other people want. But they just haven't gotten the guy.
They saw in Brunson what nobody else saw.
That is true. All of us included.
Josh Hart was an unbelievable pickup. DiVincenzo was an unbelievable signing. I'm telling you, they've done a nice job.
But they haven't done the job.
Right, because nobody is shaking loose.
And it seems like no one cares until they do that. But you can't just sit and twiddle your thumbs until that deal happens. Right. You still have a good basketball team that works hard. They win games at home.
Has nobody shaken loose yet, though? Or nobody?
The only one that did.
No one shook loose for them.
Was Donovan Mitchell. And they didn't want to give up as much as they thought that Danny Ainge was bluffing, that Cleveland wasn't going to give up what they gave up, and they did. So they missed out on him. I don't know if he takes you over the top. And you know I'm a Mitchell fan. If you added Mitchell to this mix, I don't know if I don't think that's the piece. I think they need I would love to see Karl Anthony Towns, that sort of player. Big. I don't want a small.
Also, I mean, KD might be getting older. He's averaging 30 points. He's shooting over 50% from the floor. He's at 47% from three.
Yeah, but
He's
if you
still
give
KD.
up like your 4 first-round draft picks, you're not doing it for a long time with this guy.
Well, assuming he stays healthy, what do you think you could get out of KD?
You probably get 55 games out of him a year, over 30 points, or close to 30.
And for what? Another 3 years?
Hopefully.
I mean, I'm sorry.
That's not a big body.
No,
it's
it's not. But Don, that's a player level of greatness I think is worth taking the swing for. What do you have the draft picks for if you can't use them to take a big swing?
Yeah, at some point you've got to use the draft picks.
And it might be
going
on
to be picking them.
And it might be on someone who's not. They're not going to be perfect.
Right.
It's going to be a Zion Williams. It's going to be someone who you're going to have other question marks about. Can they be the guy, or how long can they be the guy? But you will have to swing at some point.
So also, Lillard shook loose and they didn't get him. But I don't think they didn't go crazy for him.
No, I don't think.
Especially once you have Brunson, it's.
I don't think that was the fit anymore.
Right.
So what's his problem in Phoenix now?
The three of them don't mesh. I mean, Booker and Beal, and Beal's never on the court. They don't. There doesn't seem to be any flow.
I still can't believe they got Beal too.
Interesting stuff. Now, talking about the Jets, and I will. By the way, Ryan Fitzpatrick now has ascended to a level of respect from me that I never thought I would have.
Really? Let's hear.
Go ahead.
So this Thursday night football, this Thursday, I was watching intently because it was my 2-point pick.
Good job, by the way.
I was talked out of it, and I wanted to strangle Anthony. I wanted to make it my 3-point play.
But?
And then Anthony goes, well, Cooper's not playing. I'm like, and he put doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
If he laid out, I would have taken the 3.
Well, you won with your 3-pointer.
I did, and that's all I want.
Right. By the way, I loved the last 2 Thursday nighters, and I laid off on both.
Well, it was your honeymoon, but the fact that you didn't have anything for Bear is disgraceful. All you got to do is throw out
we got a real Brazilian flag. Yeah. I mean, really.
Hold on, that's your big takeaway. Not that even though Michael's been on a fantastic run, and I still just continue to hold him off.
Hold me off. I mean, he's still ahead of me by a half point.
Hey, but it feels like you've been on more of a run.
Oh, I was perfect this week.
And Grassa filled in for 45. What do you think, Anthony? He did a good job, right? Pitch was miserable, but
what is 45 impression?
Yeah, he did a 45.
Oh, I'd like to hear.
Is it good?
Did you get any drops out of it? If you didn't, then that's the answer.
I didn't get drops out of it.
No.
No.
Well,
there you go. Okay. Well, anyway,
I thought it was.
Rodgers on his last appearance with McAfee.
I've heard he said a lot of things on with
a lot of stuff. Again, he wades into the vaccine stuff. That people that are against him, they don't like his vaccine stance, and I ain't getting into that. I've been down that road, but. He said, I believe that anybody who interviews me should say their vaccine status, so then I'll know exactly where they're coming from.
What?
That's what he said. He said, you should introduce yourself and say, hi, I'm Michael K. I'm a Pfizer with 3 boosters, whatever.
Was he joking?
He's joking.
Yes, he was joking.
Kidding on the square.
Kidding on the square.
Kidding on the square.
That's subjective, though.
But
he could totally say he was kidding.
Oh, okay, but he said it.
Right.
I need something.
So they interviewed him on the bench, the Clarissa Thompson pregame show, interviewed him sitting on the Jet bench before the game. And Ryan Fitzpatrick goes, it's remote. They're on another side of the field.
Right, and Ryan's over the set.
Ryan Fitzpatrick goes, I'm Ryan Fitzpatrick, Pfizer, 2 shots, no booster. And he just asked a question. And Rodgers looked like he'd been kicked in the teeth. He kind of smiled like, you got me. I mean, what are you going to say? This is, by the way, an Ivy League guy, not just anybody, an Ivy League guy. By the way, a Pfizer, 2 shots, no boosters. Rodgers didn't have anything clever to say to him.
Well, how often does Rodgers in his attempts to be cute, which he loves so much, how often is he doing it in a situation where he's being intellectually challenged?
I don't know. I mean,
I'll go as far as say never.
I mean,
is he being challenged? Challenged by the guy who's paying him $1 million?
Right. Pat McAfee is really talented. He's not Mike Wallace. He's not like.
Well, that's not his job. Right. That's
Joe
what he's there to
Rogan
do.
is not drilling down it because he probably believes the same stuff.
That is very, very funny.
What cut do you have, Anthony?
I have the cut of him saying it on Matt.
All right, here's the cut of him saying.
So I want to hear the line. Let's break it down. Oh, it's on my page. Okay, here.
There you go. Do it.
The story is simple. We lost to previous week, and I was, again, targeting the 24th to come back. So I assumed I was going to go on IR. I asked to be put on IR because, there was conversation, do you want to practice? And I said, not at the expense of somebody getting cut. I know how this works, and I didn't need to feel like I needed to practice to continue my rehab. I could do on-the-field stuff on the side, but obviously I got overruled there. It is what it is. And, yeah, that was a, interesting situation. I called Nick right away. I just said, hey, I just hope you know this isn't coming from me. I asked him to put me on IR, but he actually said, hey, look, I'm vested. I'm getting my money. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. He would have got elevated this last week if he'd been healthy, but he'll be back up this week, I'm sure. But, it's the same old thing. It's the same people with the same comments. I think what we should do, Pat, is the same people who are criticizing me or coming up with these conspiracies, about my injury or whatever, before they talk, let's go back to 2021 and let's make people say their vax status to start. That'll frame all these comments in the right window.
Do you think he's joking?
That wasn't a joke. But
that wasn't a joke.
That's not a joke.
That's not a joke, but it's also, I understand where he's coming from. He's not asking the general public. He's just saying, for all those people with the conspiracy theories,
He's the writers that don't like him.
Well, but because the writers that don't like him because of his vaccination stance.
But he's saying that that's why they don't like him. It's like they can't separate the fact that they don't agree with his vaccine stance, so he wants to know what their vaccine stance is before they can ask him a question. That was not kidding.
No, it wasn't.
No, he was not kidding at all.
By the way, I just want to update Aaron Rodgers, just so you know, by the way, asking most people who worked at a job what their vaccine status was, I can tell you what it was. It was vaccinated, because not everybody had the privilege to do what you did, which was make up a fakakta thing where you never got vaccinated. Most people in the workforce, whether they liked the vaccine or not, were forced to get vaccinated.
But also,
so it's not that interesting.
But the problem is that he makes it seem like, well, you would have no problem with me if it wasn't for the vaccination, as if there isn't other ways that you can be.
Listen, I had no problem with the vaccination. I had a problem with the fact that he fudged it, which is what Peter said. He can't, he didn't say he wasn't vaccinated, so he's walking around. And at that time, we've all turned out to be wrong. I had this discussion with my wife the other day. We all thought, you're getting the vaccination for other people as well, because we thought that when we got the vaccination, you couldn't spread COVID. We found out later that, you know what, you have every right not to take it, because if you can spread it, even if you get the vaccine, what's the difference? You're not protecting everybody. But to say, like, I have personal autonomy over my body, we all do, but when it involves other people, the reason that we all thought that vaccine was the thing to get was because we thought we were protecting those more vulnerable. We ended up being wrong.
But the thing is
which vindicates someone like
it does vindicate him, but at the time, he wasn't vindicated. At the time, he was just flying in the face of, you know what, this is not the right thing to do for your fellow man.
But my issue overall with Aaron's stance on that is that he makes it seem like, well, if we were of like mind with the vaccine, we wouldn't disagree on other things.
Right.
I might still disagree with you on it.
I disagree
regardless
with
of my
everything
vaccination status. I could still challenge him and say, maybe I have doubts whether you wanted to be on IR or not, or whatever opinion I have about him. He makes it seem like, well, the only reason you're against me is because you're pro-vax.
Isn't that beautiful?
He's got the get out of jail free
You have the get out of jail free card for everything.
Because everything now, if we don't like him. By the way, we were past the vaccine stuff. When we had him on there, we fell in love with the guy.
Yeah.
Fell in love with the guy. But it is turning out to be a nightmare for the Jets. A nightmare. Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, the offensive lineman, Boyle. Everything he's done has been terrible.
But it's almost
they're so deep in bed with him, they can't get out.
But it's almost like that, drop the mic moment. Well, Michael, of course you have that opinion. You work for the Yankees. Like, you can't defend it. Like, so if I get vaccinated and I disagree with Aaron Rodgers, that's the reason I disagree with Aaron Rodgers? I know plenty of people that are against the vaccine. I don't judge them as people. I might disagree with them on that particular subject, but I don't shut them out. But that shouldn't be a get-out-of-jail-free card. So I would challenge him on that.
It's very odd.
But how do I challenge him on that, Mike? He's already put out there in the universe that the only reason people disagree with me is because of that.
No, I have no. But by the way, he's ended up being right. I'm sorry to say, we were wrong, and he ended up being right. But he didn't know he was right at the time, and we didn't know that we were wrong at the time. And it's not that we were wrong. We thought that it worked, that you couldn't get it, and that if you did get vaccinated, that you couldn't spread it to somebody else. That was the humane thing to do. That's why we decided it. It's turned out to be wrong.
So we believe, yeah.
Well, not so we believe. I've been vaccinated. I could give somebody COVID.
But is that
the only thing that the vaccination does is probably lessens your severity.
Right. Well, no,
which isn't nothing.
That's not. No, it's a big thing.
No, for yourself, but not for other people.
Yeah, well,
so you should have the right to say, I don't want it.
Well, just stay. Really, the thing should be just stay out of everybody's business now. Like, that's it. Once we found out that you give it to other people,
right?
Well, then just do what you
want.
do.
Do what you want.
You want to be vaccinated? Great. You don't, because now it's down the personal choice, because you can affect other people.
What I don't like about the whole thing.
I didn't just like that. I didn't like he lied.
Well, that's a separate subject. Right. What I don't like is him using it as a get out of jail free card, because I don't care about it anymore. No part of me, when I think about Aaron Rodgers,
it's about COVID.
Thinks about COVID. I don't care.
It's not.
Right.
It's not.
But he keeps bringing it up. That's his cause celeb. Because it almost seems like, see, I was right.
Well, no.
You were all wrong. I was right.
It is a complete hang on the rim for him.
Right.
And by the way, it's still a shameful hang on the rim, because, again, I don't think about it day to day, but I can tell you people who I love who are not here, who were not vaccinated, who died.
Right.
So why are you hanging on the rim? Like, just move forward. No matter how you cut it, the whole thing was a terrible time in human history. I don't think about you with regard to that. I think about Aaron Rodgers right now. All I think is, I cannot believe that guy has not played a snap, and I cannot believe he's dictating the future of this football team. And I can't believe, if they in fact went out and got Nathaniel Hackett because of Aaron Rodgers, you, in theory, got a coordinator who's incapable, guys, of working with other quarterbacks.
Yep.
No quarterback can play on this team, it seems. So when Rodgers plays, he better play. And that offense better look like magic, because you completely wasted a season with an OC who cannot get production from anyone.
All right, let's take some phone calls in a moment, but first Peter's going to tell us about FanDuel.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're going to feel the difference. The best thing about the only pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Hey. Rental? Yeah. You? Yeah. You know, your shoe's untied.
Oh! Don't let a boxy suit ruin your night. Read from theblacktucktux.com.
See everything your store can do with tools from Square. Your inventory automatically restocks, so you never run low. Your online store stays open 24/7, so you're always ready to sell. Your payments are processed in seconds, so customers can breeze through checkout. And with one account to manage it all, you've got more time for taking time out. Get your all-in-one retail system by signing up at square.com today.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to CustomInc.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our Custom Ink orders. he was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at customink.com.
You've heard our story, the one about measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. Brian, try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money. Mara, your parents are
exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
Let's boogie woogie.
The Brooklyn way is something that you can't describe. You just gotta know it. You gotta feel it. You gotta be here.
We give everyone the swag, the lingo, the culture, the look. We're just the sauce.
We got everything. Everything you want, we got.
To see somebody going after something and doing like what they love, it's easy to show love. And that's one thing about Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? It's a reflection of who we are.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Welcome to Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from home any season, anytime. See game speed pitches from more than 600 pitchers. Get ready for game time with game simulations. Face your friends in live competitions. And train like the pros with expert drills and metrics to track your progress. So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win Reality. Baseball uncaged.
Welcome back to the Michael K. Show. Michael K. 2 Pfizers, no boosters. No boosters, by the way.
No boosters?
Never. Because I was supposed to get the first booster, I got COVID.
Oh, that'll do.
Supposed to get the second booster, got COVID.
Oh.
So those served as my boosters.
Yeah, I think I'm only at 1 booster, actually. Is that disappointing?
Don, how many boosters?
Oh, he's been boosting all day.
I don't think it's anybody's business.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Rodgers' business.
If he
comes on here again, you have to tell him.
You got to tell him anything.
Tell him right to his face. I wish you guys could hear what we talk about.
I'm in compliance for whatever.
You're in compliance. I like what you're saying.
Jody will go down the block if they say, "Oh, here's a booster. Give it to me."
How much she wants them all?
16 of them, I think.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, every booster you could have.
That's my favorite joke on the internet is when people make fun of me for getting the vaccine, replying with like one of those pictures of like my head going 8 different directions. But yeah, I haven't done one in a while. By the way, while we're talking about medical stuff, we welcomed a child to the world earlier before
Jody with a
before
Y.
Michael attacked her name in one of the craziest. Oh, by the way, you'll be happy to know, Michael,
I was right.
She was named after her beautiful grandmother who has passed away and had the same name. So,
with a Y.
That's right.
Got it wrong from generation.
But again, Jody Watley. What do you say?
He's unbelievable.
I'm going to find more.
But my mom, I'm sending the best out to my mom, who went under the knife today for a knee procedure. She got the old knee replacement.
How did she ruin her knees? I'd like to know.
She's old. I mean, this is not uncommon.
I mean,
everyone in their 70s is getting
knocking on doors from McGovern. You blow your knees out.
It's knees. It's honestly the truth is I'm a little worried about it. I think my mom's side of the family just has bad genes in that area. My uncle has bad knees.
How are your knees working out?
Honestly, they've been hurting recently.
Oh, no.
I know.
My knees are shot.
I don't like to hear it.
Yeah, Don's got a bad knee.
I think both my knees are bad.
Get them replaced.
I think both my knees have a torn meniscus.
Oh, my.
I started popping recently OsteoBioflex.
Yeah?
Really?
You've taken it before?
Sounds familiar.
Did you see what Fox did, by the way, when you bring that up? You know, Frank Thomas does the eugenics ads.
I saw this. Yeah.
Oh, they killed him.
They killed because Frank Thomas, the original Met, that was his name, died at the age of 93. But they
very
killed
different
a guy who worked for them before, like last year.
The Big Hurt.
They killed off the Big Hurt.
I heard that.
Awful news, the Big Hurt.
I know.
Hall of Fame. and he had to go on.
It was an honest mistake.
No, it's not.
Well, because they have the same name.
One guy's a 93-year-old
intern
white
probably
guy.
punched in the name. That's the came up.
So the interns are writing the news for
I'm not
Fox?
excusing the mistake. I'm just saying I could see how that could happen.
It's inexcusable.
Well, here's the thing, Don. In this era, where old media has to constantly show its mettle by being like, hey, at least if you work, whatever the network is, we do the research that these idiots on the internet don't do.
Right.
You can't, in that position, botch it. Like if it was on TikTok,
Also,
and it was, but you can't do it
the
at a
guy
news.
played for the White Sox in the 90s. If you looked at his age, 93. Wow. What did he play when he was 70? I mean, come on.
Hell of a run.
Let's go to Ira in Staten Island.
Why not?
Ira, talk to us.
I remember Ira.
Hey, good afternoon. Happy New Year to you guys.
Same to you.
Hope you have a good holiday. A lot of different directions to go here. I want to keep it to football. So, the Aaron Rodgers thing. Boy, oh boy, Michael, you're so right. I mean, they are so far deep into bed with this situation. They can't get out of it, and they have to play itself out. And, Don, you're right. I mean, Sala and Douglas, you don't have to make too hard of an argument that if it wasn't for Rodgers, they both would have been let go. Jim Harbaugh's out there. I give him a blank check to run the whole organization.
Belichick's going to be out there.
Yeah, I don't think he'd say.
Yeah, no, he's not working for Woody Johnson. But I have to. One thing that really bothers me, and this to me, because of expectations, I feel worse this year than I did with the 1-15 coat type year.
I don't blame you.
Because, that's how I feel. Everything's been so dysfunctional. And the reason I say that, and you mentioned it, you look at so many teams that are winning football games and are still in the hunt and have a chance to make the playoffs that are playing with backup players. And that's what gets me. And that comes down, I'm sorry, that comes down to coaching. It comes down to personnel decisions. And right now, the Jets, they just didn't get the job done. And I don't have too much confidence going forward.
And also, Ira, you're in for 2 more years of Rodgers. And if they don't build an offensive line, he's not going to be effective.
No, he's not, and that's what my biggest concern was. Is besides, forget the backup quarterback. I don't know how Joe Douglas went into this season with Dwayne Brown and Becton being your 2 tackles after you just invested $100 million in Aaron Rodgers. I can't understand that decision in any way, and hopefully somebody's going to ask him that at the end of the year when he gives his postseason press conference.
We can't wait to talk to him, Ira. We have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I actually don't know how much of the Thursday night game you watched on. I felt bad for Becton. He was like a turnstile.
Yeah, it was awful.
Now, I didn't know it was because of the quality of the opponent. It was a great
That was a good defense at
pass
home,
rusher,
especially, yeah.
Or was he's just lost? I mean, you can't have him at left tackle with a 41-year-old quarterback next year. So what are you going to do? If you whiffed on Becton, you're in trouble.
And they might have. But they're going to have to correct the offensive line because you said it earlier. He wouldn't have survived this season anyway.
He might not have. Nope.
And it might have been something more devastating.
Well, think about it. Where'd Zach Wilson land?
Where's he land?
Where did he land?
He got hurt.
Yeah.
And Zach is... listen, Zach may not be better at anything than Aaron Rodgers, except one thing. He is definitively a more escapable, more mobile quarterback, and still ended up on the IR.
The first thing that Douglas should do is contact Tyrod Taylor at the end of the year. That's your backup quarterback. Or Jacoby Brissett.
I got to tell you, Jacoby's
absolutely. You can't. Again, it's so irresponsible that they did it. And Peter and I are not second guessing. We said this before the season began. Why is Zach Wilson your backup quarterback? Why is he? He wasn't good enough to play over Mike White, and he's your backup quarterback.
But what you're seeing, though, is a lot of it has to do with coaching. Whoever they brought in, how well would they have done?
But if you brought in a veteran like Tyrod Taylor, you don't have to coach him.
But still, you need to be able to have the plays and the coaching and the cohesion, which they don't seem to have, because if Hackett doesn't have his guy, it doesn't work.
Right. Let's go to Danny in Long Island. Danny, you're a great head coach, 17 straight years over 500.
How about that?
I know you love the man, Mike Tomlin.
Did it again.
Oh, first of all, let me just say it's Danny from Long Island. No vax, no boost, 2 good kneecaps, 1 large butt, and never sick a day in my life. And Aaron Rodgers, he was right, but he's a douche. But listen, okay, both those things can be true. But anyway, getting on to more non-politically lightning rod topics. Boy, you guys come out of the box firing today. That 3 to 3:30 hour was like Usain Bolt coming out of the blocks on the 100-yard dash. We got hating people. We got meatloaf hoagies. There was 5 drops alone. I counted.
That was good.
God,
Thank you for appreciating it.
It was great.
We were proud of it.
And by
I
the
got
way,
a meatloaf hero there.
Trending on Google is Miss Hatton's pink teeny bikini. Whatever the hell you
that
said.
is not true. That is not true.
By the way, it is my screensaver. By the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nothing's working harder in the Western Hemisphere than that bikini right now. Let me just tell you that.
That's his wife. Danny, it's my wife, for God's sake.
Well, you posted it. We wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, but
otherwise.
the description
I think it was very apt.
Wow.
Listen, she's a beautiful woman. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. Peter, God bless you.
Thank you.
Listen. Again, in the year to backup quarterback, why shouldn't Pittsburgh come down to their third-string quarterback and have it be successful? But the mystery is that Mason Rudolph was picked in the same year as Lamar Jackson. He was the 5th quarterback. Lamar Jackson and a guy from Buffalo was picked ahead of him. He came in his second year when Ben got hurt. He was 4-2 before Myles Garrett tried to decapitate him, and he was put on the bench and never to be seen again. And now he comes back in, and this is, the guy can throw bombs. He throws all over the field. So bringing in Trubisky to back up Pickett was a disgrace. Then they played Trubisky the first year. He's so bad they have to bring in Pickett after 4 games, but they go back to Trubisky again this year, and he loses those 3 games that they could have won. And now you're fighting field. You're in it. You're gonna play Saturday against the Ravens, who aren't going to play Lamar Jackson, so the Steelers are probably going to win that. Not only a winning record, but how about 10-7? Tomlin was never going to be fired, but I think they need to bring in a really good offensive coordinator because they've never had good coordinators since Bruce Arians left. It's always been run-of-the-mill guys, very bland. But the last game of the season, and we're playing. So
do you think that Tiny Hands is done there?
No, I think next year, if Mason Rudolph, think about how much money's on the line for Mason Rudolph, by the way, on Sunday. I mean, you've already played great. He didn't sign a contract with the Steelers till June. He went out to free agency. Nobody wanted him. And now he's going to play. If he beats the Ravens and he plays well again and they get in the playoffs, he's going to come back next year, get his price from the Steelers, and it's going to be him and Pickett in preseason and make a decision. And Pickett would have to play exceptionally well because Pickens is making tremendous catches down the field. Everything's working.
But do you think Pickett can play from what you've seen?
I think he's a little gun shy. I don't think the ball carries as well. This guy can throw the ball deep. This guy's like Joe Flacco. The game is designed to throw deep balls like Flacco. And let me talk about the Jets before I go. It's all about coaching in the NFL. And the Browns have had every injury the Jets have had, and even worse, including Nick Chubb, who was the best running back in the NFL, snapped his leg at the Pittsburgh Steelers 1-yard line. That's the only reason why we win that game. And I'm watching this game Thursday night, and there's Sauce Gardner. Oh, the greatest man since Jesus on the left. And David, their best wide receiver is out. Their tight end is eviscerating you, and there's Sauce Gardner on the other side of the field guarding their 4th best receiver. You can't play both sides of the field, or you don't want to play both sides.
Yeah, I never understood that. He doesn't travel. I don't get that.
I don't travel. Tell that to Bill Belichick.
I know.
If the thing in football is surprise and linebackers can move in and out, you want to stand over there? God bless you. I know where you are, and I can game plan around you. I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah, and we've asked him about it. With several games, why not have him cover the big one? That's not what we do. That's not what our defense does, which I think is a bad answer. It's a bad answer. Let's go to Marco in Brooklyn. Marco.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
How you doing?
I don't understand why. Good. I don't understand why Robert Saleh gets so much slack and so many excuses that he's in. What do you guys say about him? He's an unexplained coach.
No, it's incomplete. He gets an incomplete.
Coach, right? Incomplete coach. Right. I don't understand, Bill. You look at the Bengals, you look at the Colts, you look at the Vikings, you look at. There's so many teams that on their backup quarterbacks. God, even you, when Brian Dable, you were calling for his job, and he was on his 3rd-string quarterback. You're saying if he doesn't win more, he may be out. But Robert Saleh, it's incomplete. We don't know yet.
Well, but there's 2 things. There is an incomplete. I'd be fine with letting him go. We all know the answer why he's coming back, but we give him an incomplete because it seems like there's excuses every time. So, yeah, I think, Michael, incomplete's the right answer. But I'd have no problem if they let him go.
But one thing you have to be worried about, look at Cincinnati. The first couple of years, Zach Taylor looked like he was a hack. They kept him, and he's a really good coach. So you don't want to pull a plug on a coach too soon. I know what you're saying, 33 losses in 3 years.
18 and 33, whatever the record is.
But you have to admit, Don, you have to look at circumstances. He has not had a quarterback.
Okay, but the question comes down to we look at things the wrong way when we decide whether we're going to let a coach or manager go. Does he deserve to go? Don't get caught up in deserving to go. Can you do better? And I find it very difficult to believe they could not do better than Robert Saleh. We just talked about how we see teams go through struggles. Why do the Steelers, whether Danny from Long Island likes them or not, why are the Steelers above 500 every single year, despite injuries? Because they're well coached. And you can't say that they're poorly coached, but you certainly can't say they're well coached. And all I say is that sometimes you let people go because you think you can do better. And you can't tell me you can't do better than Robert Saleh.
And therein lies the rub of having your quarterback be the most powerful guy in the organization other than Woody. And I think he might be more powerful than Woody because he's got Woody by the tail. So that's the reason.
That's a mouthful.
That's the reason you are handcuffed now and making any significant move with Douglas or with Saleh is because of the quarterback.
No, but
he's running the team, playing 4 snaps for them.
That's what's just the shame of it is the lack of a backbone. Because you could want to bring Robert Saleh back, and you could bring Robert Saleh back because of Aaron Rodgers. But can you at least have a conversation about it? This all happened immediately after he went on McAfee and said that he thinks Saleh should be back. Like, you can't make him part of the process, but also say, Aaron, you don't think there's a possibility maybe we could do better?
And also, do you believe Rodgers that he told them he did not want to be activated, that he wanted to be, and they said no, and they released that kid who ended up coming back anyway? You really believe that? That's where they drew the line.
Yeah, that's a really fair
Think
point.
about that. You can pick your offensive coordinator. You can bring in Lazard. You can bring in the guy with the beautiful eyes,
Cobb,
Randall Cobb. But no, we have to stay active.
So you show that you can fire back at him. No, we're going to have you play. So you can't have a conversation and say, listen, we're going to decide on Robert Saleh, but let's have a conversation during the offseason. Let's see if we can do better. If we decide we can't, then we'll bring Robert back. But why the rush just because he said on McAfee, I think Robert Saleh's doing a good job, that automatically he's going to come back? You can't have a discussion?
I will come back. We'll have more of a discussion then in the first ENN of the new year.
Oh, there's
I feel like I haven't heard an ENN since last year.
Yay! Well, thanks for listening.
Well, no, last year.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Come on, that's a 5th grade joke.
That's not even 5th grade. That's above you.
You think
told
so?
a joke that's above you.
People suck. Anyway, we'll come back with more on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
You don't have to leave your living room to play the lottery. Just use the Jackpocket app.
Hot! Okay, everyone, please silence your phones.
I won.
I won! I won! I never win anything, and I won today! We won! Yes! Dollar bills, y'all, I'm out!
To win anytime, anywhere, download the Jackpocket app, officially licensed lottery courier service.
Guys with bad jeans, are they worth it?
Jeans go with everything.
They go with nothing. Dudes, get the new Only Pant by Fabletics.
Awesome!
Want one pair of pants that does everything like magic? Breathable cooling tech. Always stretch. Secure phone pocket.
Bro, I'm in an Only Pant ad.
Water repellent. Work, golf, date night, hiking, biking. It's so everything.
See this stretch?
You forget about the deal you're getting.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get the Only Pant for $19 at Fabletics.com.
There are a lot of us now, and it means so much when we can all be together, especially when we can do something good, like our yearly service project. We're also running a t-shirt fundraiser through Custom Ink to help raise more money and awareness for the cause. Our t-shirt fundraiser with Custom Ink makes it easy to share our campaign and help our community. And their design services team helped us get a design we love. I'm proud that we can make a difference together as a community. Come together for a cause. Get started today at customink.com.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
I needed something in the shop, comfortable.
I wear Brunt boots, as you see, got them on my feet right now. Keeps you warm, it keeps you dry, triple layered comfort.
Comfortable in the morning, comfortable in the afternoon. These feel like kind of like sneakers.
They're waterproof, durable. Been wearing them for over a year now. They're absolutely amazing.
This is the only shoe I wear in here now.
Brown boots are cool. Wearing Brunt boots, my feet, my back, and my legs don't hurt at the end of the day.
Go online and try any of our gear on the job for 30 days, risk-free.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
So you'll have an emergency pizza. A free pizza when you need it most.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Only at Domino's.
My boy.
What you doing?
I'm locking in my prize picks. I just pick more or less on player stats. If I get them right, I win big.
Yeah, like what?
I got you.
Oh, a black genie.
If you pick 2 right, you win 3x. Pick 4 right, you win 10x. And if you pick 6 right, you win 25x your cash.
It don't get no better than this.
Oh, but it does. Because right now, Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy.
Dive into the world of Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from more than 600 pitchers. Training that simulates all game situations and head-to-head action with family and friends. Master your timing, pitch recognition, and hitting mechanics with expert coaching.
Let's see the progress.
So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win Reality. Baseball uncaged.
If you watch Yes Network on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download the app to stream the Nets and experience the game in a whole new way. With a live stat overlay to track your favorite players. Free-to-play gaming with big cash prizes. And earn and redeem rewards for gift cards and gear. So remember, if you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. The Brooklyn Nets have lost 3 in a row and 8 of their last 10. Tonight, they start another set of back-to-back games. They are in New Orleans taking on the Pelicans before heading to Houston tomorrow to battle the Rockets. Their only 2 wins over this stretch are against the Pistons, who lost an NBA record 28 straight in a single season. Our coverage for tonight's tilt in the Big Easy begins with the pregame show at 7:30, followed by opening tip a little after 8 o'clock. The Nets are trying to break out of their 3-game slide, but they will have to stop Zion Williamson and the Pelicans to do it. And it's all tonight, beginning at 7:30, right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
Well, I deserved it. I thought any of us today could have had point guard.
Yeah, that must have been a very difficult decision before you decided to suck up, Anthony, right?
I thought Don had a real keeper early, but I don't remember what it was anymore.
So it wasn't that great.
No, it was great at the time.
Bill Belichick was on WEEI today.
I'm familiar.
Coaching against the Jets. This could be the last game ever as the Patriot coach, and he talked about that.
Whatever success I have had, I've tried to go about my job the same way every week. Win, lose, good years, bad years, whatever they are, each week. get ready to go for that week, do the best you can to help your team win. After that game, move on to the next one. And at the end of the season, that's the end of the season. But on a week-to-week basis, I mean, I don't want to spend time or get caught up in what happened 5 years ago or what's going to happen 2 years from now or, I mean, a bunch of other random stuff. So just working on the Jets.
Is it hard for you while working for the Jets, working on the Jets, to also take into account where you are when it comes to a draft pick? Because we're all focused on that as well. And as the GM, you have to keep that in the back of your mind as well, right?
Yeah, I'm committed to the team that I'm coaching right now. The players that are here, they deserve my best every day, and that's what I'm going to give them.
It's about as animated as I've ever heard.
He sounded like a human being.
Right.
What
like
was
not
that?
a robot. But now, if Bill Belichick is let go, it looks like he probably will be, right? Now we know the mathematical equation. If you win 6 Super Bowls and go to what, 8 of them?
Yeah.
Then you have 3 years of losing and then you're out. Doesn't matter. 6, 7, 8 Super Bowl, 3 years of losing, you're out.
It wasn't even 3 years of losing. It was just 3 years of not winning.
Right.
Because they weren't. 2 years ago, they made the playoffs.
The first year they made the playoffs got crushed.
Right. So 2 years of bad football means you're out. There's nothing you put in the bank anymore for equity.
Well, will we be having this conversation if he was 50?
I don't know.
We'd be having this conversation if he
maybe
was
we
there.
wouldn't have it if Kraft was 50.
Well, I think there's extenuating circumstances because you look at what's happening with Tomlin, who hasn't won at nearly the clip, but he's got a job. It feels like for life. I think he would have been able to survive a losing season this year, probably. But it's Belichick's older. They've been together, Michael, for how long? What is it since
20 years?
2000.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes it's enough.
And it also might just be a situation where they go, hey, we obviously need an absolute full reset and rebuild.
Right.
Do you really want to do that, Coach? Do you think you're going to see out? Are you willing to see through a full rebuild?
I think he would be.
You think he would want to start at the beginning right now and go on a 5-year run?
You think he wants to leave New England because he's not done coaching, so wherever he goes.
But we got to stop with the whole. I don't think it's going to take 5 years. If they draft the right quarterback, and they're going to be in a position to take a quarterback in this draft, they could be back on top in a couple of years.
The
only
thing that he did wrong, in my opinion, over the last couple of years, is he had the hubris to not have an offensive coordinator, Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
That was like. A good coach could coach anybody. No, you were wrong. That was a bad job.
That was, of course, but Mac Jones didn't work out.
Right.
Mac Jones is just not a great quarterback.
Yeah, but we talk about coaching. He had a defensive guy coaching him. You had an offensive coordinator who was Matt Patricia.
I know. It was not. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that if they get the right quarterback, he didn't forget how to coach. Maybe he got a little arrogant, didn't adjust after losing Tom. Didn't get it right with Mac Jones. There's a lot of other issues. He's not a great general manager by any stretch. He's a great coach, but he's not a great general manager. But if they get it right with this draft, you really think it's going to take 5 years to rebuild?
Fair. But
I mean, look what's happened with the Texans, right? They got the right quarterback, it looks like, and they've immediately turned it around.
Boy, am I rooting for the Patriots this weekend.
Why?
Big game.
Oh, so the Commanders have the second pick?
It's currently, looks like it's Carolina, New England.
Carolina Bears.
Yeah,
It's the Bears pick.
Right.
Carolina. Wait.
It's the Bears pick.
The Bears
traded, right.
The Bears will take that.
Yes.
Then what the hell are the Bears going to do with Justin Fields?
I think they should keep Justin Fields.
To me, he's
and
looking
what
better
Ryan
every
Poles
week.
did last year was trade the number 1 pick to Carolina to take.
That was last year.
Yeah, and they got this first-round draft pick and others. I mean, it was an unbelievable deal. They can make the same deal because Fields has been playing great.
I know people love Fields.
Of late.
People are very high on Fields. By the way, I'd just like to say, it's another one of those random Rosenberg takes that if you pay attention to the show, I've been saying for a while, I really like Justin Fields. Always has shown me that he has something. He does appear like he could be very good.
Okay,
by the way, that team's been competitive.
Can I return and serve? You also love Sam Howell.
See, Don, you knew he would go there,
but
and it's not fair.
Accurate. It's not
accurate.
But you liked him.
I did. I said, why not? Maybe he could be the guy.
Yeah,
he's not.
He wasn't.
So you've got the Bears at 1.
Bears 1.
Commanders 2.
Wait, that's where we're at 2 right now?
You're at 2 right now.
How are we? Because I'm looking just at the league standings. Why are we ahead of the Cardinals and Patriots?
I think strength of schedule.
It might be. Yeah, it's probably.
Okay.
Yeah, it probably is strength of schedule.
And we're going to get killed this weekend.
Yeah, strength.
No, the Cowboys play terrible on the road.
No, but the Cowboys need to win.
But they play terrible on the road.
You think they could be that bad?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. You know what we don't need then? Don't start Brissett. You got to start Howell then.
Strength of schedule, 504 for the Commanders, 527 for the Patriots, 566 for Arizona. It's got 4. The Giants
big
are at
win
5.
by Arizona last week. Big win.
All right, the Giants are at 5. Now, I don't know what Philadelphia is going to do. Are they going to play everybody? You're already hearing they may not play anybody. But if the Giants lose and stay at 5, Arizona's taking on the Seahawks. They're probably going to lose.
You never.
Patriots, Jets. Who knows what's going to happen there?
Complete toss-up.
But the Giants can get a quarterback at 5, right?
I would take the 3rd pick. Like, if I'm the Bears, if they have the number 1 pick, the team that finishes 3rd, that might want Caleb Williams. I say, okay, we'll give you this. You give me the 3rd pick and next year's first rounder. And then I take Marvin Harrison.
For Justin Fields. Give him a nice, shiny toy.
Yeah.
Now, no one here has a quarterback, though.
So you're going to have Penix, who looked great yesterday.
Yeah, sure did.
You're going to have the kid from North Carolina, Drake May.
Just tried that.
And they're going to have Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm. Would it be weird for us to try back-to-back North Carolina quarterbacks?
This is a better quarterback than Howell.
Daniels won the Heisman Trophy. He's available. Now, the question is, what does Arizona do? Are they going to eat the money on Murray? Take another quarterback?
And do do we know that Murray's definitely bad? I mean, everyone gets so sure that he's bad. I'm like, is he? I really thought that kid could play for a minute. I don't know.
And by the way, I made a mistake. Belichick's been to 9 Super Bowls. Lost to the Eagles, too, on the funky play.
Oh, that's right.
And then 2 to the Giants. So 9 Super Bowls, 6 Lombardi trophies, and you're still going to bang him because he's had 2 bad years. Amazing. Just amazing.
But like you said, there's extenuating circumstances. The age of the 2 individuals. And also the power he wields, right?
Yeah. Very quickly, a little positive kernel for Yankee fans. Have you seen a recent picture of Giancarlo Stanton?
Tell me he's either thin or fat.
He's a rail. So he's muscled down, which I think he needs. I think he's overly muscular.
I don't want to see that guy.
He is a rail. Now, does that affect his power? I don't know.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that is that good or bad.
Well, I mean, I think it's got to be somewhere in the middle, but he looks completely different. He's certainly done something to his body.
Something has to change. Now, I assume Michael's adding a little bit of hyperbole.
No, I'll show you pictures during the break. You'll see.
But, like, I know one thing. He has to change what he's doing physically in the offseason if they want different results.
Right. Yeah, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results is insanity.
He can't be immobile. That's not a thing.
We're going to come back with ENN. It's been a fun show so far, so why not end it really on a strong note? We have the Rangers against the Hurricanes tonight at 7. Pregame show with Don at 6:30.
He's a rail.
Nets and the Pelicans, 8 o'clock. Islanders and the Avalanche, 8:30. He's around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like disturbing so.
All right. Well, maybe Peter will open the ENN with that.
Those legs.
Right here on Yes or 98.7 ESPN.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
This is my coffee shop. And that's me in my custom shirt from Custom Ink. This week, we moved into a new, bigger space and brought on another employee. To celebrate, I ordered new branded gear for the whole team. Everything was so easy to make with Custom Ink's Design Lab. I just chose my products, added our logo, and placed my order. Our new gear really helps us look and feel like a team. Bring your own team together with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Trick plays, and if ever
local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the Patriots.
continue to go forward with hope as the plan.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each and one of you a beer or something.
Last play of the game.
Hey guys, am I dreaming or can we actually win this thing?
Guys with bad genes. Are they worth it?
Jeans go with everything.
They go with nothing. Dudes, get the new Only Pant by Fabletics.
Awesome.
Want one pair of pants that does everything like magic? Breathable cooling tech. Always stretch. Secure phone pocket.
Bro, I'm in an Only Pant ad.
Water repellent. Work, golf, date night, hiking, biking. It's so everything. You forget about the deal you're getting.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get the only pant for $19 at Fabletics.com.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We like color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to thebblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
Win big while streaming the Nets with Pick and Play on the Yes app. Make your picks before tip-off and win up to $10,000. What a move! Yes, Pick and Play. It's the game within the game, only on the Yes app.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement. Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
If you suspect Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Show me what you're cooking. Oh, let me see the moves. You got the whole world looking like the scene of kind of magic taking hold of you.
If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Show me what you're cooking. Oh, let me see the moves. You got the whole world looking like the scene of kind of magic taking hold of you.
If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
The ENN. Ray Rowe.
On TV.
I like to start off by saying good evening to Michael.
People suck.
And to Michael.
You're all dead meat if you're coming at me.
And to Michael and the caller.
Mike, you're a Catholic school guy.
No, I'm not.
So proud.
Mike, you're a Catholic school guy.
No, I'm not.
Good evening to Don.
What happened to you?
It was a
Was it
minor
the
blip.
boat?
And good evening to Don.
I got a meatloaf hero there.
To myself. I do feel a little Brazilian right now. To myself.
Well,
according to who? God?
That was the Jody conversation.
That was a tough one. You know what? To Michael.
9 Super Bowls, 6 Lombardi trophies, and you're still going to bang them.
You know, Don, it worked out because fortunately Kaz and his wife Jasmine have a great sense of humor, and Kaz is a big fan of Michael's work, so he was hysterical. They were cracking up in the hospital. But Don, you're dying inside thinking, is Michael going to realize that he's poo-pooing the name during a baby announcement?
Now, first of all, the baby is adorable. She's going to do great things in life. I'm very bullish on her. but when you spell the kid's name wrong, you're starting her off with a negativity.
Listen, you started off. The first bully was you.
Yeah. Oh my! Jody does not have to be.
In my world, it does.
But that's your world.
Because it's something that Jody always takes note of when people say Michael and Jody, like on a Christmas card, Jody, and she goes, don't they know that? But Jody with a woman's name starts with an I, not a Y.
But maybe you guys should take the hint and that society doesn't know.
That's been debunked.
Yeah, it's been debunked. And Jody Watley's the biggest proof. Yeah. Don really won the argument.
No. Jody Applegate was famous before Jody Watley.
No, she wasn't.
How old is Jody Watley?
I would say Jody Watley is 61 years old.
Well, then...
How old is Jody Watley?
Wait. I don't think we want to have this conversation.
64.
Okay, so she's older than Jody. But Jody was hosting the Today Show 20 years ago. What was Jody Watley?
Her career was already done. I mean, Jody Watley's big career, Don, was what, 88, 89, 90? That was the Jody Watley's career.
She was on Soul Train in like the late 70s.
Jody Applegate was on Soul Train in the late 70s as well.
That's simply not true.
She was the most un-Soul Train girl on Soul Train.
She was. They said, who's the one with no soul? It has been a hell of a
There was
program.
an article about her in Ebony Magazine in 1977 as part of the new generation of musicians.
75, there's a big feature story on Ebony.
No, in Jet.
Yeah.
Jody had the cover of
And
Jet in 75.
No, but the magazine that Jody was in was spelled Eboni. Ebony. Yeah.
It goes full circle.
Yeah,
I see what you did. I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, there's so much to talk about today.
Hey, by the way, one of our former, program directors,
yes,
Scott Masteller, one of my favorites,
very
great
nice.
guy,
Not familiar.
just got named the PD of the Fanatic in Philly.
Wow,
I mean, a terrific dude, a programming genius.
One of the only suits that was not a pinhead.
No, he was not a pinhead at all.
Really?
Great guy.
What was he doing recently prior to this big gig?
I think he was consulting.
Oh, good for him.
Terrific guy. Good luck, Scott.
I might try to work out, maybe do a weekend show down in Philly.
Wow.
Why don't you? I mean, when's your deal up? Maybe you can still live in your house and work in Philly, right?
Yeah, about the same commute.
About the same commute.
Yeah.
And the Flyers is a delectable job, right?
That is a good job. They've got two outstanding announcers. Tim Saunders is their radio guy, terrific guy.
Right. Toward the end of the line, though?
No.
No?
Right in their prime, right in their wheelhouse.
I'm sorry.
Jackson did the Phillies. But he's not doing the Phillies anymore. He does TV for the Flyers.
John Clark?
No, Jim Jackson.
Okay.
You don't know Jim?
No.
Let's go.
I thought you knew all the announcers.
Let's go back.
No, I'm keep to myself.
By the way,
I don't think that's the case.
Did you see that over the holidays, as is the tradition, someone reposted the animating sports?
Terrific.
From our holidays. Glenn Garcia, the brilliant man who made that animation.
Yeah, but I think he's working for the other station now.
No, I think he works for whoever needs
him. They had a similar one? They got one. Oh, you sure it's the same one?
Yeah, from animated.
No, he just does random clips at times.
Okay.
But his big gig is Glenn does the animation for the that incredibly popular podcast with the comedians that I'm blanking for, and I'll blank on. I shouldn't.
Comedians.
Because it's on the same company that I do my podcast with Beetle on, Wondery. What's the podcast with Jason Bateman and the other guys?
Oh, that's a good podcast. That is.
Why am I spacing on the name of it?
It's with
I've only had like 200
the guy from the Lego show.
Smartless.
Yeah.
Smartless. So he does the animation for that show. He does a lot of high quality stuff there.
Well, we need an updated one because he's got a couple and they're both hilarious.
They're really, really good. Let's go back to last night. ESPN Radio, Michigan, Alabama, the Rose Bowl. The final call from Joe Tessitore.
4th and goal. Milrow with Williams in the backfield. Can Bama survive? Milrow running straight ahead. He doesn't get it. He goes nowhere. He's tripped up. And the Michigan Wolverines have done it. They have done it. They have done it. It's all roses finally for Michigan as they have slayed the Crimson Tide in overtime.
That's nice, Tessitore. You sure?
Yeah, that was Tessitore.
Really?
Absolutely.
So it was on radio then?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. You couldn't tell he had the same enthusiasm when he was doing Monday Night Football for like a third down play in the first quarter?
I'm not going to knock a broadcaster like you.
That was a phenomenal.
And by the way,
phenomenal
over the holidays, I have a perfect rebuttal for you two guys when it comes to Al Michaels.
Oh.
So you don't think Al gives the same oomph as he used to?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I think he's the exact same announcer, but now we become a world of screaming memes. And if you're not a screaming meme, you sound like he's the same guy he's always been.
No.
But now we've got the Kevin Harlans of the world screaming at the top of their lungs on a third down play. So this guy dims in comparison.
No.
He's the same great announcer he's always been.
Play it.
What do you mean, play what?
Chargers Jaguars playoffs last year.
But that's how he's always been, is what I'm saying.
He would have gotten fired the first day if he was like this.
It's not the Al Michaels Don knows. Listen, I do think.
Why aren't we playing it?
I don't know where it is. I didn't have it in front of me.
Dear God.
I'm sorry. Now, listen, I think it's overstated how much people go after Michaels. Like, I still think he does a nice call. I still think it's very
He trends
solid.
every time he calls a game.
Here we go.
He what?
He trends every time he calls a game.
Yeah, because he's not what the new announcers are, screamers.
This is an awful rebuttal. Take it back.
No, because like people used to think that I was too enthusiastic. If you look at me now, I'm kind of like middle of the road. I'm not even close to the lunatics
But
that are
you've
out
never
there.
said, here we go, Aaron Judge again, another home run. Thank God.
Here we go.
But there was some excitement in that. Here we
there
go.
is some excitement in this.
Here we go.
Hear it one more time.
Here we go.
The guy's called the Miracle on Ice. He's called countless Super Bowls. He's not going to get excited about a playoff game.
Well, that's the problem. See, that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. He's still exceptionally talented. He's on the Mount Rushmore. But because he's done so much, a playoff game in the NFL is passé to him. That's when it's time to go.
No, it's not. And by the way, you know who's gotten much more excitable? Maybe it's because of the beauty of working for the worldwide leader. Joe Buck, much different than he was in his last years in Fox.
Really?
Oh, much more animated. A lot of yelling.
Speaking of which, you should have heard his hit with us when you were off.
I heard he killed me.
He didn't kill you.
He killed cruises, and I, by the way, I'm a big cruise fan. He killed both cruises.
He killed the idea of going on a fan cruise. He doesn't suffer fools. It's my favorite thing about Joe
But you know
Buck.
what? We'll talk about this as the week goes on, but it wasn't like he said it all. It was great. The fans were great. They were all fans of you. One guy sent PSE&G shirts because he knew that Don's dad worked for PSE&G.
Oh, that's lovely.
And I had to cart it all the way back.
It wasn't about it being a diss of any people. It's just the fact that Joe Buck is a funny, dry.
He's very funny.
He does not suffer fools. He doesn't have time for it, and I love it. I find it entertaining.
Well, but Joe says I wouldn't do a cruise like that. Well, when you make $18 million, you can pick and choose what you do.
He was 23.
He said he was 23,
and he was just trying.
Well, his dad was a millionaire then.
True. Well, look at you. Now you're attacking Joe Buck. This is the new Michael. He attacks infants. He attacks Joe Buck.
And
anybody can catch it from 2024.
That's right. 2024 Michael is heel Michael.
Yeah,
he's back.
Heel Michael's back.
And I like Joe Buck, but I'm not going to take him ripping me. And what was a great cruise?
He didn't.
The celebrity cruise was amazing.
It was Cardinal fans.
Yeah,
that's what he ripped.
Well, if you're going to go on a cruise with fans, of course fans want to talk with people.
But based on what we know about Joe, and you know him better than I do,
right.
But hearing him on the show, you get to learn someone's personality. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who wants to be stuck in a room with fans answering fan questions.
But see,
that doesn't seem his style.
There are a lot of guys that are like that, and I think that Joe Buck would be great with fans.
You flipped it into a compliment.
No, I really believe that he would be great with fans. He's very funny and
right. He'd be great. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like what he'd want to do with his spare time.
Can I give you the line of the cruise?
Yeah, sure.
It was a lot of bad weather.
Okay.
And so the boat was bobbing, really bobbing.
Okay.
And El Duque was on the cruise, and one of the fans said, "This is pretty bad." He goes, "You know the story of my life?"
That's a bit. You call yourself a fan? The guy was on a postage stamp from Cuba. I think they hit some rough waters.
It was so sad. Like we were like 10 miles away from Cuba when we went from Cozumel to Grand Cayman, and you could see Cuba easily without binoculars. And I said, "Does that make you sad?" He goes, "No, you're not free there. You're free here."
Probably brings back, just everything he went through.
He said when they wouldn't let me go back when my father died, I disconnected.
Done.
This in from Adam Schefter.
Shefty.
You idiots. The NFL has fined Panthers chairman David Tepper $300,000 for his behavior during that Jacksonville game when he threw a drink at a fan of the Jaguars.
Let me put this in perspective, if you'll allow me.
Go ahead.
I don't know how much money you have in your pocket right now.
A decent amount, because I brought some to Brazil and never ended up changing.
Okay, so if I took $50 out of your pocket and just ripped it up in front of your face, it would mean the same thing to you as that $300,000.
I'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even.
I'd be hot.
All right, $5.
Okay.
Finding David Tepper $300,000 as a joke. It's a joke what he did. It's a joke. It shows you that the NFL and all sports leagues, they never look at what type of person. They just want to know, can you afford it? David Tepper, what he did is unconscionable to throw a drink in the face of a Panther fan. Unconscionable.
Now, granted, the fan was a Jaguar.
Panthers.
Oh, sorry, it was the Jaguar-Panther game. Oh, it was a Jaguar fan, sorry. So it was a Charger now. Oh, no, he's a Ram.
Former Raven.
A current Jaguar. Maybe the guy was just being absolutely insane and hanging in the owner's box window.
But still,
it's a very poor
you've got to
form.
hold yourself to a higher standard.
And his
not some drunk fan. You're a billionaire.
His statement was, I am deeply passionate about this team and regret my behavior on Sunday. I should have let NFL stadium security handle any issues that arose. I respect the NFL's code of conduct and accept the league's discipline for my behavior. Question is, if you could pause life, would he write a $300,000 check to throw the drink at the guy?
He'd write $1 million check to stab the guy in the head, I'm sure.
Well, I don't think I didn't say he'd get away with it.
I know the NFL stinks in a lot of ways.
A lot of ways.
How much more should they have?
Really, what could you
find
do?
him?
Unless you want to.
You're always in a bad situation where people want owners fined. The guy who's fining you works for you.
That's what I'm saying. So how much could you possibly?
How about this?
Say you're fined $2 million and wink at him. You don't have to do it.
How about this? Because we come out with like everything's like the code of conduct. You have to fine X amount of dollars to players, but some players are millionaires and some players are on just the average salary, and some are just barely getting by. Tommy DeVito's living with his mom. Shouldn't they come out with percentages instead of totals? Like if you do this, it's 10% of your salary, or 5% of your salary, or 1% of your salary.
That's a good point.
So it should then affect everyone equally. So when you get to an owner and you're going to bang him for like 2% of how much he's worth, then you'll be talking about some real money.
Yeah, but if you really find an owner amount that would hurt, you'd be fired.
But you all agree to this code of conduct.
You know what it's time to do? Let's hear from Jim.
By the way, he didn't apologize, though. I deeply regret. Where's the apology? I'm sorry I blinded the guy with high-end
Well, we don't even, did he?
I think the guy's okay.
He's not in the hospital.
Here's Jackie and Jack Harbaugh.
Did you see them?
This is unbelievable.
If you took Jim Harbaugh, right?
Yeah.
And my daughter shows me these apps that age you, and you aged him 20 years. This is who would
you could tell it was his dad from space.
Same glasses. Yeah. If you were on Uranus, you would see that's Jim.
All right, here they are after the big win for their son.
Are you kidding me? They won!
That's a mom.
Thank you.
We have a thing in our family that we use for a long time, and it goes like this: who's better than us? Nobody.
Sounds like him too.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter, it's somebody in our business. I just forget who it was. He had a great line. He goes, "Can you imagine what this guy feels? His son has won a Super Bowl. This guy has gone to a Super Bowl and is now taking a team to a national championship." And this guy wrote, "When my son gets an infield single in Little League, I feel like I'm on top of the world." Can you imagine what this man feels?
It is. That's an amazing thing to think about. I know. Just yesterday.
You've got to see. By the way, did you look at Stanton?
Yes.
John?
I think he still overstated it. But
no, but he looks his
good.
legs. But it's really the legs.
Do his legs look that different?
Yeah.
Though?
His face is thinner, too.
In the picture I saw, I couldn't see his thighs.
Oh, I got a thigh shot for you. I'll give it to you later.
Excuse me?
Of course you do.
I don't know. He certainly looks smaller. I wish I looked. What was the word you used? Gaunt.
I never used the word gaunt.
What did you say?
I said a rail.
Rail.
He is a rail.
Yeah, I want to be a rail.
You're fine. You just come off your honeymoon, man.
I'll tell you one thing though.
Nobody rocks a black turtleneck like you.
And I'll tell you this though. Yeah, I look at Mr. Worldwide today. Mr. 305, Pitbull. Here's a little cheat code though. If you're going to come home from vacation fat as a house, get a great tan while you're there. It balances. Imagine if I looked like pasty, sickly, and white like you. Imagine how fat I'd look. But because I
don't look fat and I'm pasty,
you look great. Let's go to
hurtful guy.
Let's go to the other call from last night. This is the big Washington win. This is also from ESPN Radio. And here we go.
This is in the Commanders, right? No.
1 second to go. Texas down 6 at the Washington 13-yard line. Motion out of the backfield. Yours, heavy pressure. Floats it for the end zone. Going up to get it. A.D. Mitchell can't. Incomplete. Elijah Jackson in coverage. And the Washington Huskies have held on. The unbeaten season in their final year in the Pac-12. And Washington advances to face Michigan in the CFP National Championship game.
Well, thank you to the late start. I was in the arms of Morpheus when that took place.
Well, Mark Hescher was wide awake on that call.
He's a tremendous play-by-play guy.
He is.
He really is. His NBA calls for the finals he's just so good.
And a real nice guy, too.
I don't care about that. But he is a nice guy. A lot of people in our business are creeps. New heel Michael K is going to reveal all this.
Wow.
I mean, creeps that you wouldn't even want to spend 1 second
What
with.
do you mean?
People in our business, a lot of people in our business are the worst human beings on the face of the earth.
Broadcasters.
I'm going to need broadcasters, executives.
I'm going to need a name.
Keep listening.
Oh, really? You think it's going to come out this year?
A lot of stuff's coming out this year. I am sprinting.
Will you do me a favor, though?
What's that?
Save it for AM. You know what I mean? Save it.
When we're on 1050?
That's right. Save it. You got to save it. I'm told that the powers that be, they don't pay the same attention to what's going on AM. I mean,
right. So how do you do it less than 0?
No, I don't mean ESPN executives.
Oh, okay.
I mean like the people who would find us.
Right.
So anything you want to say, you could just air it all out when we get to AM.
No, I think people
no
are going to follow us to AM. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be like a march.
I'm not talking about listeners. I'm talking about the FCC. They're not paying attention to AM anymore. We're below the radar.
So Carlin's 7 words. Chris Carlin's.
Chris Carlin's 7
Chicken
words.
Parm, egg parm.
Or George.
The 7 words.
By the way, I cannot believe egg parm.
Egg parm.
No, you went right to egg. Chris Carlin's 7 words.
I heard
they're all parms.
I heard. Yeah, everything's parm with him.
Oh my god.
Toast parm.
Oh, wow.
Apple parm.
You're such a bad guy.
Orange parm.
Such a salt of the earth guy too.
He puts a lot of salt on that parm too.
I love the man. I love him.
So do I. He's killing Michigan today. Anything they get is ill-gotten gains. They cheated. It's not a real championship.
Really?
Yeah, killing them.
I mean, I don't mind it. But I don't agree. But I don't mind it.
Chris never had an opinion he's
based on the name of the show, then I guess Joe thinks that it's great what Michigan did. Otherwise, the name of the show wouldn't work. It's Carlin versus Joe. They're against each other.
I don't know if it has to be in every.
Yeah, it has to be.
Did
Otherwise,
you see
you're
Bob
not honoring the name of the show.
Q&A with Steve Serby on Sunday? Favorite movie of all time? I texted him. I said, if you gave me a million guesses, I would have never guessed. Favorite movie of all time?
Coming to America.
No.
All right, so Damn Yankees.
Nope. Again, a million guesses, you wouldn't get it.
Dirty Dancing.
King Kong, the original.
Don, that's up your alley.
And what's
the Fay Ray vehicle?
Well, your favorite movies are The Planet of the Apes, King Kong.
New Planet of the Apes coming out.
I know.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
Before we go, guys.
It is.
Before we go, guys, let's hear from R.J. Barrett on what it's like to be back in Toronto.
We're good. We're good.
Man, meant a lot, meant a lot. Like I said, I'm the hometown kid, and just coming in and trying to get a win for the fans, trying to win for the country, so, yeah, it felt great.
Well, robot answers.
Your reaction to the trade?
The initial reaction was like, what's going on? I just woke up to it. And then to have been moved, and like I said, coming home, I was happy. I grew up a Raptors fan all my life. So to come here and put this jersey on, it's going to be great.
I've been told Joe does disagree with Carlin, so they're honoring the show.
Interesting.
That'll do it for ENN on this Tuesday, January the 2nd, 2024.
Rangers hockey coming up next, the pregame with Don.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Don't forget, coming up a bit later at 7:30, our coverage of the Nets and Pelicans tips off with the pregame show. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.